All right, we're back down to Chiefs Pit. Timmy Petty and Mark Petty and Richie Petty. And Mark just made a good analysis. This is our 2-year anniversary doing this. We started this thing thinking we was going to do a couple episodes and document some of our stories for our kids. And it's been pretty good success. It's been fun. But the hard part's keeping up and trying to come up with stories that we think that you'd be interested in. And we got a lot of stuff that interests us, and there's some things we're not going to tell you.
Well, not yet.
Well, not yet. It's coming.
No,
but we still we still coming up with stuff that
it's hard to keep relevant stuff going.
Yeah, it is.
No, but everybody I talk to that watches it in the comment section seems like everybody likes it. So
yeah, so we're gonna
keep on digging, keep on trying, and
no matter how big or small.
Yeah. And I like it when we get people in here and talking, and we learn from them. And that's been the.
We'd still have more people that's committed to coming.
Yeah,
and
no, I know.
Well, hopefully now that it's off season over the winter here, we might get some extra.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, I've
enjoyed.
enjoyed it because I have learned so much. That,
Shoot.
you know, it's like we were talking yesterday about some things, different perspectives of what we've seen in our lives. Other people see it in a different window, and it's a whole different thing. So it's neat to learn from them guys.
Well, and what I find interesting is it's family history.
Yes, it was.
Like, you know, for us, and you run across and you get to know other members of your family that was doing it.
Speaking of the family history, the Pettys were always known as the first family of racing, right? I mean, you'd see it back in
After the Francis, maybe.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the yeah, they're still the
absolutely.
I'm just saying that you look at the old newspaper clippings,
Yes, sir.
and books, it'd be the first family, and then you'd have that picture on the wall of Daddy and Lee and Richard, you know, the first family. But anyway, it got me to thinking, and we've been tossing it around this morning, some of the first that happened here in Level Cross and Randleman area for NASCAR racing. And for one thing, you know, the first car that grandfather raced in Charlotte at 49, Jimmy.
First flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, I didn't know that until you brought it up.
He gets credited for being the first guy to flip a car in cup racing. So that's kind of.
Did they drive that car home?
I don't know.
But of course he borrowed that car. Didn't
Well, they had there was a guy that they knew from the service station up here. And they talked him into letting him drive the car. And they was going to go make some money because Lee and Julie had already been racing those outlaw cars.
You don't really traded a bottle of liquor, do you?
They might have. But anyway, you know,
big difference in $1 then.
But Lee's brothers, you know, all the Pettys showed up at the race to help, so they had a way home.
Oh yeah.
I guess they towed it home. I don't know. But anyway, he's the first guy to flip the car, and what was the Lee was the first guy to win the Daytona 500. So that car was built in Level Cross area. The first Daytona 500 winning car come out of the Randleman Level Cross area. So,
yep.
And
well, you also said before that in the early 50s, first one to win in a Dodge.
1953,
right,
at West Palm Beach.
Right. Is that the one he changed the camshaft in by
I
itself?
think so. But that was the first Dodge. We've mentioned that before too. Jimmy Llewellyn run a second Petty car in that race. They ran 1-2. That was the first credited Dodge win in NASCAR Cup.
1953?
53.
Damn.
So then we got, you know, the first champion for the Pettys. You know, there's 10 Cup championships for the Pettys, right? But there's really 11 NASCAR championships because Lee in 58 won 2 championships. He won the short track and he won the Cup. So he's the first guy to ever win 2 major championships in NASCAR in the same year. So that's the first. And I think that's the only time. I think
then you and I, we've been involved with championships after that too.
Yeah, but not. It was not.
Still,
I know. Yeah, it was.
If,
it was
I
away
like
from
to
here.
count.
No, you should.
Right.
You gotta.
Right, but I'm saying as far as
impeccable, Rick. Not like you.
But he's the only guy that I know of, and I know it was a Harvick or somebody that gave it a run a couple of years ago. He was going to win a truck in a Cup, maybe, I don't know. But Lee's the only one to ever pull it off. You know what I mean?
Is that right?
I think so.
I thought Kyle Busch might have done.
Might have been Kyle Busch. You might be right.
One of them.
Yeah,
Somebody's not sure.
But anyway, he was the first one to do it, and then.
That was what year? 58?
58. He won the short track championship and the NASCAR Cup championship. So there's, you You talking about this? Daddy and Lee and Richard was all part of 11 championships in their careers. So I thought that was pretty good, and they did it pretty dang quick too. They did it in 30 years. They won 11 championships in NASCAR, and they don't get credited for that one for short tracking. But I still like to count it because they got the trophy and they got the ring, right? So we're gonna brag a little bit.
Yeah,
on
it is what it is. Right? Yeah, no, but it's
We're going to go ahead and give it to him.
the trophy's up there in the museum.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he was the first guy to, or I was gonna say Pete Hamilton. He won his first race in NASCAR Cup at Daytona in '70 out of a car built here in Level Cross. So that was the first win for him. You got any first there you want to bring up there?
No, but I'm going to change gears just a little bit.
Well, we'll go back to, I still got some more first, but
You
go
know,
ahead.
you're just talking about that he didn't get credit for that win, but Bobby Allison just now got credit for his, 85th or 6th win.
Yeah.
And he just passed away. We'd like to extend out our condolences to the family, the Allison family. Hats off.
Oh, here's one for
Yeah,
you.
because you talking about the first. We're talking about the first in Randleman. That family could talk about the first in that Alabama.
That's
Right,
right.
right,
right.
But,
But it just-
I'm just saying
yeah,
that he
this
meant a
is-
lot to me and
Oh, it means a lot to the
us
whole
and
racing world.
Mom and Daddy.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely.
Well, let's get back to
R.I.P.
to the first here. Grandfather Richard and Lee was the first time a father and two sons raced against each other. August of 1960 in Birmingham. That was the first time a father.
How about that for irony?
Yep.
But it happened one more time. I think it was 2000. The Earnhardts did it with Kerry and Dale Jr. and Dale Sr.
Okay, that's cool.
So they were the first to do it.
Yeah.
And I think they were the second and only one so far. But the father and two sons, that's the first time.
I wonder how'd they finish that race? I wonder.
Oh, I'd have to look up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Daddy won.
I think Daddy ran 8th or something that race. I think he started 5th and ran 8th. But I think Richard probably the best one. But he was the first to, the first ones to do that. The father and two sons, and Kyle Petty, his first win for professional racing, run that ARCA race at Daytona, come out of Level Cross. The car did. They built the car, so his first win came out of
It's
there.
also his first professional race period,
Well,
other than a
it's
few
his
short
first,
tracks.
well, his first race
Yeah.
was any kind of race. And then, like you said, we were talking about Adam. He was the first fourth generation professional athlete, and I think his car came out of here to begin with.
Well, it was Randolph County, it was
Right,
between
right,
Level
right,
Cross and
right,
Thomasville.
right.
But
Yeah, exactly. So that was-
it was
that
all
was-
the
It
same.
was a
the
petty
first.
operation.
Right.
Yeah, so that was
Because
the
you
first.
you talking about Randleman there, but the whole Randolph County, you really stretch out. There's a lot of racers and racing come out of this area.
Well, and that goes back to the first Cup win for Cale Yarborough. Most people don't realize this, but the first Cup win for Cale Yarborough came out of Randleman, and that was Red Myler, Kenneth Myler, our Pop Red, his shop in Randleman, which that building's still there, and we need to go do a tour and look
Yeah,
at
we
that.
do. And
I don't think there's
and
nothing
like we
left.
said, get some people down here that remembers
right.
being at that shop.
But that was
Better do it
Cale's,
pretty quick.
but yeah,
Yeah, no kidding.
that was Cale's first win, and it came out of Randleman, North Carolina. So I mean, there's a lot
And,
of
and Pop Shop was that was a Holman Moody satellite shop.
yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, he was.
It was a Ford. He was Ford back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got a
factory back.
I got that picture in there, and it shows a different car in front of that building, and it's still there. But that the irony of that is, it's in Randleman, and the Richard Petty Museum was moved to Randleman for a few years. It was within walking distance.
He was in that same
it's
back
same-
parking lot.
It's
Yeah.
the same area, and nobody ever put that together. And then
Well, only like we did.
not
we
at
just-
the time. And then now,
Yeah.
like I was saying, that should be a historical marker of Cale Yarborough's first Cup win in Randleman. Should be on Pop Red's shop there. It should be
right down there behind Shaw Furniture Gallery, right?
It was the original Randleman school, the house.
Yeah,
the school.
Shaw's Furniture. Yeah, was Randleman High School.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Well, I guess that's where Daddy and Richard graduated from,
Well,
right?
yeah, I think so.
Was that building?
Well, they started there. I think the new building, which is the middle school, that's the one they graduated from.
Oh, is that right?
I think
Okay,
so.
I didn't know.
I think so.
That,
I don't know. I wasn't around.
yeah, we'll ask King
yeah,
sometime.
yeah. We'll ask you, even though he was there.
Yeah, he did it too.
In the Petty story, that's where they was there.
That's right.
Well, there's a historical fact.
Let's see. Well, hey, here's one. This ain't a very good one, but this is a first. The first roof flaps that was used in competition. Our car, which me driving,
So we did have
Daytona.
first.
Yeah.
So that was my first out of level cross. Was the first car in competition in NASCAR Cup racing to use the roof flaps. We built it.
That's worth
Qualifying
bragging over.
race '94. Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
it was.
It's
94.
worth bragging over.
Yeah.
No, but it worked.
No, I'm saying it's the first. I mean, there's all
Yeah.
kinds of other things that little innovations that Daddy and Richard and the grandfather would come up with. That's like grandfather. He'd always tell us the story of the Martinsville. He got hit in the rear, and it kind of bent the car. And he said that's when he invented wedge.
Got bashed
That's
in.
when they understood what it was.
So,
what it would
so
do
then he
for you,
started
yeah.
measuring that right rear and then bending the cars and everything
Oof.
to go ahead. So that's what he said.
Same thing happened to us at Nashville in that
Yep.
truck, remember?
Yep. Yep.
Well, anything
Sure did.
else you want
Yeah,
to add? Go ahead and add
Well,
something.
I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily first, but I wish we had some more pictures to back this up, but this is basically just a farming community from back in the day, dirt farmers and whatnot, but 4 people out of our family in a 5-year period was some of the first members of the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I think it's worth mentioning too.
And again, like I said, Mom Tricia always said, not bad for
Yeah.
4 old country boys.
Yep. And we're awful proud of that. I mean, I'm sure.
And you'd be
everybody is.
surprised, and we could get into it later, but not just in the racing part. That little area of Randleman, there's been a lot of successful people that's come out of Randleman, and you start putting these names together. I mean, we've had professional football players, we've had professional baseball players,
Yeah.
we've had business people making lots of money in other forms of so
Yeah.
it's been a pretty successful little area, this little Randolph County deal. I guess something in the water, maybe.
They got good water here. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to mention that briefly.
No, that's good.
No,
I think
that's a good point.
I think we've said
No,
it
I
before,
love it.
but kind of goes along with the first. And I mean, seconds ain't bad either.
No.
No.
Well, like we said, we started this deal just saying this is our 2-year anniversary. I guess we've been doing this, and we hope we can continue doing it because I've enjoyed doing it with these two fellers. We've shared a lot of time together, and I hope we got a lot more time together.
Well, I hope we get more guests in the near future, and lots of stories to be told from other folks too.
So like and subscribe, and keep tuning in, and we'll see you next time.